What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So you see the title of this video and you know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about $4,200 payments. Going to give you a stimulus update. We're going to address what the Federal Reserve said today regarding inflation moves. We're going to talk about this potential new bill, which essentially isn't really a new bill. It's just a rendition of a bill that was proposed almost a year ago today. And we're going to talk about record hospitalizations at the end of this video. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. But also, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. Click that subscribe button so you never miss an update. I'm talking about things regarding stimulus, the government, going into things like supply chain issues that I talked about earlier on today, diving into things like real estate, investing, and stocks. So make sure you do not miss any of those updates. All you gotta do, click that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. But let's get to the update for today. Now, the $4,200 payments, I just want to be 100% clear on this. This is lawmakers are bringing up a bill that was proposed last year by Senator Mitt Romney. Okay, this is something that they're trying to reintroduce because it was somewhat of a bipartisan bill. Now, I'm going to address this in just a minute. The first thing I want to do is talk about what the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said today. And he said the United States needs to move away from pandemic-related stimulus. However, I want to be very clear. This doesn't mean there won't be any additional stimulus given to the American people. Stimulus is one of those general terms, meaning just additional help to provide, help stimulate either your life, the economy, your community, whatever. Okay, so stimulus is a very generic term, but there could be more given to the American people. What Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell is saying is he's talking about stimulus towards the economy because Chairman Powell believes that we are going to continue to see inflation. He says the Federal Reserve needs to tighten monetary policy and actually raise rates a little bit quicker. But he also said, and this is a big thing, I want to read this statement because this, I think, was very powerful. He said, and I quote, "To get to the kind of very strong labor market we want, with high participation, it is going to take a long expansion." So, essentially what he's saying is that he doesn't want to crash the markets. He doesn't want to cause a recession, but we need to keep this strong economy going. So, interest rates will increase and the economic stimulus will eventually stop. Now, this is actually good news. Experts are saying this is good news because if interest rates increase and inflation goes down, this will actually open the door for more options for Congress. So here's why I bring this up. Experts are now saying that Congress is very limited with what they can do because we have this inflation thing hanging over our heads. Right now, inflation is the key factor and everything is going to go off of that, according to multiple reports. And according to one report, they say once inflation is not the deciding factor anymore, then this will allow Congress to rethink the bills that they have and they can consider passing. Let me just address that. If Congress is being pretty much handcuffed, they can't do anything. They are pretty much tied. They're struggling because they're trying to pass bills that we can't afford. They're trying to pass bills that we don't need. And so, according to these reports, is by the Federal Reserve acting, increasing rates, dropping inflation, this is actually going to give Congress more options. So, let me know what your thoughts are on that down in the comment section below. I think that's pretty good. I think that's a very good statement, but we'll see what happens moving forward. But let's talk about those $4,200 payments. Because here's what's being discussed. As of right now, what's being considered at this time is one of the only bipartisan bills that we have seen over the past year or so. Now, there's only been a few. This is one of them. This is actually the old Mitt Romney proposal for the child tax credit payments. This proposal was calling for $4,200 payments. This was $4,200 per year. Okay? Was that like $400? No, that would be $4,800. Was that $350 per month? Right? pretty substantial payment. And this is for children under the age of 6, so 0 to 5. Children 6 to 17, they would still get a $3,000 payment per year. So here's what I can tell you. Right now, this is the closest bill that we have to receiving bipartisan support. And at this time, which again, I struggle to say at this time because things change multiple times a day. Okay, which you're probably wondering, why do I make so many videos? Because things keep changing. They keep changing and we have no clue what's going on. But here's what I know. We don't know how much bipartisan support this has currently, but when it was first proposed and first introduced in, I think it was like February 4th of 2021, so almost a year ago, many lawmakers liked it. Now, there was a decent amount of support, but eventually what happened was Democrats decided that we're going to actually lower that. And there was multiple reasons behind this, and I'll get to some in just a second. But they decided we're going to lower that. And we're going to fully fund this, not by eliminating other social programs. And so they liked the idea of a larger payment to children because this would help out many families. But one of the issues that many Democrats had is that this proposal was pretty much tied to making cuts to other social programs. And even today, Senator Sherrod Brown was asked if he is open to this a standalone bill as a standalone bill, and he stated that he isn't for a standalone bill, and that he said that this proposal doesn't address the problem that people have, and it doesn't address the people that need it the most. And multiple Democrats came out and stated that they don't want a standalone bill because it would actually eliminate other provisions. But according to these reports, this proposal actually increased the child tax credit payment. And the reason why this is still being considered is because the other provisions wouldn't be seen as somewhat necessary at this time because you're getting additional payments elsewhere. So I thought that was interesting the way they're bringing up almost a year-old bill or proposal that was bipartisan then. We don't know if it still is to this day. Now, one issue that I do have that wasn't really brought up was how many Republicans would actually support this. I know Senator Mitt Romney would probably still like his proposal passed, but at the same time, do we still need the child tax credit payments? Some say yes, others say no. When you ask somebody that is a parent that is receiving these payments, they say yes, we still need these. But when you ask somebody that doesn't have children, for example, somebody on Social Security, they say, well, why do they get all this additional funding, which is great for children, but at the same time, what about us? What about us that are elderly, can't work, and need additional funding as well? And that's the problem. There's so many different directions that Congress can go at this time, but what they're trying to do, they're trying to pass bills that will not see inflation rise even faster. And then the other issue is they're trying to address issues and problems that are going to get them the most votes. Well, there's a lot of parents out there. Children aren't going to be able to vote, but the parents can. If the parents receive $250 or $300 per month, that's really going to help out. That's really going to get parents to be like, oh, we should vote for Democrats because they did this. But we'll see what happens moving forward. I just thought that was a very interesting proposal and story that's coming back. So as we get more information there, I promise I will keep you updated on that. One other thing that happened today is we actually started getting more talks on the filibuster rule changes. President Biden spoke in Georgia. He was very adamant that, yes, he does want to see changes. The problem is Senator Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema are still standing in the way. Now, I don't know how hard President Biden is willing to push to get something done, but reports do indicate that President Biden is going to do whatever it takes to get his agenda passed. His agenda, not Senator Joe Manchin's, his agenda. So now this is likely going to, change and move around, but at this point, and again, I'm not going to dive into this right now because I can tell you tomorrow morning, it's going to be completely different. So I'm going to wait till tomorrow and I will do a full update on the filibuster changes. So let's get to the COVID news for today. The U.S. broke COVID case record yesterday. We're at 1.35 million cases. Insane amount. But we now have over 10% of those people are hospitalized. According to reports, we now have more than 145,000 people hospitalized due to COVID. We know that Colorado, Oregon, Louisiana, Maryland, and Virginia have all declared a public health emergency, or they've actually provided new restrictions on hospital treatments. And shocking news, but health experts say we could see more than 300,000 hospitalizations later this month. And that is just based off of the models that researchers have done. So it's scary to think that that is possible, but that is where we're at this point. So that's what we know as of right now. But again, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on, share all the latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.